Okay, as we have people joining, and so we may have others that will be joining us, usually like the first few minutes before the workshop starts, we have people that are joining us. And so this may be an intimate group, and if it is, that's fine, because then you get more one-on-one questions on a tool that really is pretty amazing. And it's nice to have someone that can walk you through how to use the tool as well. So before we kind of get started, this workshop will be recorded. So you are getting an acknowledgement that we are recording it. And if you would like a copy of that, then you can just request it from your respective programs and we will send it to you. My name is Patricia Duran Quesada. I am the project director for Arches. And Arches and RAMP and EOP and Poly Transfer and Bronco Scholars, we all collaborate together on hosting workshops that are focused mostly on financial literacy, which includes content pertaining to like your financial aid if you're on aid, or content pertaining to how to manage money, right? Like how to retire a millionaire, what is savings, what is credit, what is a FICO, what does that mean? But we also then will bring in specialized topics that are really, we find critical for students. And this is one that we find is a really important topic. And so it's a really easy tool to use, but it just takes a minute to learn how to use it. So today we have our wonderful presenters, Erin De Rosa and Pedro Navarro. I'm going to let them introduce their roles as part of the Office of Student Success, but they are integral in providing all training and resources and communication with regards to CPP Connect. I will be moderating any questions, although if we're a small group, it's fine to just like raise your hand and then, you can go ahead and ask your question live. If you're not comfortable doing that, then you are more than welcome to put it in the chat. And that is it. So yeah, I'll turn it over to Pedro and to Erin, and they can get a sense of who our audience is today. So I'm going to mute myself and turn it over to you two.
Thank you, Patricia. Erin, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll just say a quick hi because this is Pedro's show. I'm just here to support him. But hi, everyone. My name is Erin Landrosa. I am the Director of University Advising in the Office of Student Success. And I'll just do a quick plug for, kind of our other resources that if you are ever, in need of support around advising related questions. And I know you have this amazing support service, but like you're, on campus and you're closer to the student services building, or, you're just not sure who to ask a question to, you can always ask our Bronco Advising Center staff as well. So I'll put the link in the chat for that, but we're really glad that you're here today to talk about our planner. It's a super helpful tool for you to kind of plan your path to degree. It's helpful for you to kind of see what your years here are going to look like. It's helpful for financial aid planning purposes. It is helpful for your departments to know what classes they need to offer to make sure that you're staying on track. So there are lots and lots of reasons that we want you to use this tool. So with that, I will turn it over to Pedro, and then Pedro, you just let me know what you need from me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pedro. I'm the e-advising coordinator in the Office of Student Success, and I'll be here to assist you with setting up your planner. So with that, let's go ahead and start sharing some screen. So this will be more of like a hands-on. What I wanted to do is show you the functionality that you as a student has when using your planning tool. I'll be going through some of the more basic features that your peers use on how to like add classes, if you want to add a roadmap, if you want to search for individual courses, and then we'll have plenty of time to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you, Erin, for putting the link in the chat, but let's go ahead and share the screen here. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat. This is where you all will log into either CPP Connect or CPP Connect's planner. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat for you. There we go. So as students, as you know, you'll have access both to the scheduling feature of CPP Connect, but today we'll be focusing more on the planning tool itself. Now, this is not the last time that you'll have access to a particular planner workshop. We do have a number of planner workshops coming up throughout September and October. We'll have college-specific workshops that you can, of course, register and attend. And then afterwards in October, we'll have more like planner drop-in hours. So if you have like a question about your planner, or if you know, some basic functionality, you can always join us then. So again, all this information is on the CPP Connect student website. So like Aaron mentioned, Planner is literally a planning tool, okay, that allows you to plug in courses towards graduation. There is a recommended roadmap feature, which I'll be going over through. But essentially, you'll log in through here. So the great thing about it is that we've differentiated all logins for you. So if you wanted to schedule an appointment, that will be the CP Connect feature. If you wanted to use Planner, then there'll be this login to Planner. So once you click on that, it will take you to this page here. And just go ahead and click on that login to your school account, and that will prompt you to enter your Bronco username and password. It is single sign-on, so if you've already logged into other CPP websites, then it should identify you really quickly. Perfect. And so the first, I think we see a question in the chat.
That was me.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks.
Oh yeah, we'll yell out to you.
No worries. I'm going to make this bigger. There we go. So a couple of things. The first time you log in, this is what you'll see. This is what we call sort of like your Planner desktop page. Now, Planner can only be accessed through a desktop or a laptop. You cannot use Planner on your mobile device. So just wanted to point that out. So when you're here, you'll have some information as to like your to-do, some classes that you may have that day or that week. These are all resources on the left-hand side. And if you've actually downloaded our CPP Connect mobile app, which is under the name Navigate Student, you'll recognize some of this functionality because it's very similar. But for today's workshop, we'll focus only on Planner. Okay, so once you log in, you'll go ahead and navigate to the top left corner, and there's going to be two tabs, one that says Explore and one that says Planner. So you'll want to click on where it says Planner. Perfect. Now, if you have never used Planner before, if this is your first time using Planner, you will see a page that looks like this. And essentially, it will be illustrating your major and the number of units needed to complete that degree. Now, there is an estimated graduation term on the right-hand side. Please take that with a grain of salt because this is not fully accurate. What we need to do is actually add in the courses to your planner. That way it will give you a better sense of when you'll be completing your degree requirements. Now on this page as well, if you are majoring in a discipline that does not have a subplan, then it will provide a roadmap for you down here. Okay, now we highly recommend that you select this roadmap for you because it will serve as a foundation for you to work off of. However, you can have a blank planner and work from scratch if you wanted to, and that's where these options here come into play. Okay, now if you are majoring in a discipline that does have a subplan, which I would imagine the vast majority of you do, then there's just an extra step that we'll need to do in order to set up your planner correctly. So for today's demonstration, we'll go ahead and click on this, use this template. Now, if you've already started to use Planner before, once you click on this Planner tab from your home page, this is what it will take you, right? It will never ask you to click on that template again. So that was sort of just a one-time thing for all students. This is your planner. Okay, now it's really divided into 3 sections, and I'll be going through each section individually just so you can fully understand how to use this tool. The first one is the left navigational toolbar, okay, which you can expand by clicking on this arrow down here. The plan suggestions button, that really just takes you back to this page, which is sort of like your planner homepage. And then, I wish they would have called it that because that's really what it is. Your favorites, this is where you can identify specific courses as maybe a favorite, right? You really want to take this course, or you've been dying to take this course. You can always identify it as a favorite. So you can always come back to that class and then add it to your planner at a later term. The search function is, however, by far the most important feature on this left navigational toolbar. The reason why is because this will allow you to search for pretty much any class that's in our university catalog and add it to your planner. Now you're probably wondering, why would I need to add a class if Planner is already going to tell me what courses I should take for my major? Well, Planner can only display at this time the primary degree requirements for your first major. So if you're a student who is double majoring or is adding a minor or a couple of minors, unfortunately, it cannot display that roadmap. So you would have to search for each of these classes individually and then add them to your planner. Okay, so that's the main reason to use the search engine. And then the scheduling an appointment, again, you can use CPP Connect for that. But if you wanted to schedule on say an advising session, you can do so directly off of here as well. So that's the left navigational toolbar. This sort of left section here, this is blank right now because this sort of dummy account that I'm using, this is a sociology major. And as we know, if you're a sociology major, you have a subplan, which is a sub-concentration you need to select. Well, the reason why it's blank is because I need to tell Planner what my subplan is so that it can provide me the list of degree requirements for that particular option. Okay, so I'll show you on how to do that right now. The right-hand side here, this is your actual planner. This is what your advisors are able to see and make recommendations on. So they can scroll up and down. So these are just various semesters. And it's always going to default to preview the current semester, which from your end, it will be fall semester 2021. And we can show you on how to add different semesters and how to remove courses and things around in 1 second. So those are really the 3 sections. So as students, as you're using this planner, the first thing we want you to do is to confirm that your subplan is selected. So again, if this is your first time, you can of course follow along. You're going to see this button here that says view alternate plans. Okay, so we can go ahead and click on that. And what you'll be seeing now is all the subplans for that particular major, right? So most majors have between 1 or 2 concentrations. There are a few that do have more, like music, for example, I think has up to 6. So just make sure that you identify your correct subplan from this left-hand side and then click anywhere in that box, right? So like if you're majoring in social work as part of the sociology major, then you'll go ahead and click on that. What that will do is then display all the degree requirements for that particular option. Okay. Now it is taking into consideration things that you've already completed and things that you may be enrolled, but we don't want you to focus too much on this long list. What we want you to do is simply scroll all the way to the bottom and find this hidden button down here that says change to this plan, because that's exactly what we want to do. Is we want to tell Planner, I want to change to this plan. And then it'll just ask you to confirm that that's exactly what you want to do and say, yes, let's go ahead and change to this plan. And now, boom, your planner is now populated. So you'll see some information there about, what exactly Planner is. And again, it's a planning tool that's really meant to be used alongside your curriculum sheet as well as your degree progress report. It also gives you information as to if you're having technical issues, you can always email us. Or you can look at the university catalog if you want to look at other classes. So again, it'll give you some of that information there. As you scroll down here on this section, now it is displaying all the degree requirements for that primary major. Okay, and every course here should have usually a label on the right-hand side of it. It should either be completed, enrolled, or planned. If it does not have a label, say like this one, then that means that it's still missing, as in you have not planned to take it. And there are a couple of reasons why that could be, and that's okay to do as well. Okay.
Pedro,
yeah, go ahead.
There's one question a student asked, is if we change our major, will the academic plan change automatically on Planner and keep our planned classes the same for future semesters? Or does it kind of reset and give a new template for the new major? That's a good question.
Yeah, Casey, that's a fantastic question. So the answer to the first part of your question is yes. Once you officially change majors in Bronco Direct PeopleSoft, right, with the registrar's office, then this will automatically change as well, because your planner is connected to your PeopleSoft in that sense. So if you were to change from sociology to history, once it's official, then this will change. The second part of your question is relating to your actual planner. Will it also reset things that you've planned? The answer is no. This is sort of stays in play regardless of change of major, which is great, right? That's exactly what we want to do, because we know that you're planning to take courses while you're in the process of changing majors. So we want this to be, sort of frozen as you're planning to take those courses. So great question. All right, so now that we've selected, again, our subplan, we're able to see all this information here. Now, a couple of things that I do want to point out is that if you're a first-time freshman student, or even if you're a sophomore, we highly recommend that you auto-populate your planner with what we call a roadmap. Now, the roadmap that we've already programmed each of your planners with is the same one that your department has already offered. All we've done is just digitize it. So we don't want to confuse students as to like which planner is better, what roadmap should I listen, they're all the same. And the way to do that is to navigate to the top right corner here. And you're going to see these links here, okay? The one that we want to focus on is this quick planner, because that's exactly what it will do for our planner here. And that's make a quick roadmap, okay? So the first question is going to ask us is to set up sort of our parameters, as in, what type of student will I be in terms of unit load, right? And what semesters am I planning to take? So you can either select part-time or full-time, depending on sort of like your status. Then it's going to ask you, what semesters are you planning to take courses, right? Is it fall and spring, maybe a summer? Regardless if you're planning to take a winter intersession or a summer session, we still want you to leave these as default. The reason why is because it will give you the best roadmap for you. You can always add a summer term later to your planner and then plug in courses there, okay? So once you set up this, you can go ahead and just say, click the preview template, as in I want to preview sort of this roadmap, and then it will display it down here. There's going to be a button on the right-hand side that says use this template, just because you cannot edit anything from here. This is the actual roadmap itself. So we'll go ahead and click on use this template. And that's it. You literally now have a 4-year roadmap towards graduation if you're a first-time freshman student, or a 2-year roadmap if you're a transfer student. So if you've noticed, initially there was only spring and fall semester on here, right? Now there's spring semester 2022, fall semester 2022. What it did is that it identified the courses on the left-hand side here that had not been completed or planned out and plugged them in here. Okay, so that's one option. But I understand that some of us are not first-time freshmen and we're not sophomores, right? Let's say we're sort of at the end of our career at Cal Poly Pomona, maybe we're a senior, and we just want to plan out our last semester or two. We definitely don't recommend that you use that roadmap. In that case, we just recommend that you sort of plug and play, as in you add the courses manually to each of these semesters. And the way to do that is to work directly off of the right-hand side, okay? Now, I'm gonna start off with this term here, spring semester 2022, because it's in the future. Every course requirement that you see on your planner on the right-hand side will have this like little hamburger 3-line menu sort of icon next to it, okay? When you click on it from your end, it's going to give you 3 options. One that says move to term, and this is how you can literally move this course to any planned term. So right now I have planned as far as fall semester 2022. So I can go ahead and click on that and it will be moved. So as you can see, it disappeared. Now it's down here. Okay. The other option is remove from term. Now, I really wish they called this remove from planner, because that's really what it is that when you remove this course from a term, it's actually kicking it back to the left-hand side. This is sort of like a bucket of courses. So you're basically telling the system, I don't even plan to take this course. So if you click on remove from term, it's going to kick it back over here and you'll easily find it because it'll be the only course without a label, right? Because you're no longer planning to take it, you're not enrolled in it, and you haven't completed it. And sometimes that's okay, right? So that's how you can add courses directly onto here. But say you are adding sort of individualized courses that are not part of your major, right? You're minoring in history and you want to add those courses. Then again, using the search engine will be your best friend. So I'm going to click on that search engine and I'm going to show you on how you can search for classes and add them to your planner. There's two ways to search for a class. One is through a keyword or phrase, and the other one is through the course code. Now, there's definitely some benefits to using either one. I'll start off with the keyword. Say you are trying to take a course that you heard from a friend or a faculty member, but they just didn't tell you what the number was, right? So say it was like micro econ something. You can literally type in micro econ and then click the search button. What it will do is that it will run a search through our entire university catalog for every class that has that phrase as part of its title. So as you can see, there's a lot. So from here, you can just be like, oh, okay, there it is. It was Economics 2201. It's a very common course. That's what I plan to take. And so from here, you can literally add it to any term that you're planning to take. So that's one way to search for a class. The other way is if you already know exactly what the class is, right? So let's say you were minoring in history, and I would imagine that history 2201 is a requirement. So you would have to type in the acronym of the subject and then the number. Now here's the thing though, the acronym must be in uppercase status, and you cannot have a space in between. If you were to do a space in between and click search, the system won't identify it, unfortunately. So there has to be attached together. And then at that point, once you click search, it will bring up that course in particular here. Okay. So let's look for another course, maybe because this is a sort of dummy account, so it's probably not searching for anything. Oh, that's why. There you go. Once we actually remove the keyword up here, then it will. There you go. So now it'll give you the exact course that you try to find. It'll give you the title, the number of units it is worth, and the details of that particular class. And the details matches exactly what's in the university catalog. So if you want to get a sense of what the class is, what you're going to be learning in that class, then you'll learn it here. Now, one thing I do want to point out though, is let's search for a class that's upper division. Let's see if that's even a class there. Nope. No. What's an upper division class? Let me see, 3370 maybe. There we go. History of California. If the course has any prerequisites or core requisites, it will display that information here. Okay, so you just want to be cognizant of that as well. And this is actually really neat information for you to have whenever you're planning to take upper division courses. Okay, and then again, once you find the course, you can go ahead and click on add to term and you can add it to any semester. And there it is, and now populated on the right-hand side. So once you want to get away from the search engine, again, you'll click on that plan suggestions, which is really just like your home page, and it'll take you back to your home. Okay. Now, a couple of other quick features to know is that if you're still taking general education requirements, we've done one amazing thing for you in Planner, and that's pre-program each of those requirements with a list of GEs that can satisfy that particular course. The reason why we did that is because we didn't want you to be bouncing around like a different website and be like, okay, does this class even satisfy this GE? So all GEs will have this little blue triangle icon here, okay? When you click on it from your end, it will display a list of all the GE requirements that can satisfy it. And that's the great thing about it, is that you can then just find the course that you want to take, which matches your interests or a GE requirement that could potentially double count for your major, and then just select it. Okay. What that will do is that it will replace these placeholder labels. The reason why some degree requirements have this placeholder labels and others do not is that these requirements are sort of open-ended, right? You'll see these on your curriculum sheet. You'll see these on your degree progress report. They're usually like major requirements or electives that ask you, the student, to say, take 9 units out of 30 or something like that, right? So you kind of have to work with your advisor to find the best course that matches that. And so these placeholder labels, again, will be removed once you find a course. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't do the same process with these particular major requirements because the list of courses is just too long. So the best thing that we did was that we programmed it to find a course. So at that point, when you click find a course, it'll open up the search engine and you will find the course that you want to take. So say I'm planning to take Sociology 2201 as the option elective, right? Then once you search for it, you can just click on plan. You don't have to technically add it to a planner because you're searching for that particular requirement already in here. So once you click plan, this option elective will now no longer have a placeholder label, as you can see. And now you're telling the planner as well as your advisor, I'm planning to take this course to satisfy that major requirement. Okay. I'll stop here in case there are questions thus far on some of the functionality that I've gone over. Cassie, I see
Casey hasn't. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. When we add courses to our planner, does that have any impact on if those classes will be available for that term? Cassie, great question again. So right now, it is not taken into consideration if the course is available or if it's even being offered that particular semester. You can search technically for any class within any given academic year. However, in the future, we will be updating this planner tool with a scheduling feature. And that will tell you if there are open sections available for that semester you're planning to take. Not so much into the future, but for the next semester.
If I can just add to that, departments do look at this data for, how classes were planned to kind of get a sense of like, okay, we have 90 students that need this class in the fall, so we better make sure that we have 3 sections of it or whatever. So we do look at it that way, kind of in like large groups of students. But if, one student wants that course maybe in the fall, there's no guarantee that it will be offered. So get all of your friends to do this and then we have lots of really good information.
Other questions?
It doesn't look like we have any at this time. Oh, wait. Carrie has a question. Are the dates available for the courses on the planner, or would it be best to refer to the student center to see specific dates? Carrie, can you clarify what dates you're referencing?
Yeah, so when I plan my schedule, I have to plan it around my work week. So I'm wondering if there's a place where we could see these classes are on Tuesday, Thursday, kind of how it's set up when we actually register for classes. But on this website, is there anything like that, or is it just the course itself and we say I think I'm going to take this semester and then figure out what day later on?
Yeah, Carrie, and that's a great question. It's actually a very timely question. I see Aaron smiling. Again, so it's part of that new feature that we're very excited to launch soon. Basically, we're calling it Scheduler, which will be sort of embedded into Planner. You're actually getting a preview of it. I won't go too deep into it because we're still sort of testing it, but you see this button down here that says Pick Times and View Edit Schedule. So from your end, you don't see it yet. However, once you click on this in the future, you will be able to look up sections of the courses you're planning to take. It will tell you the dates and the times that are available. It'll give you a weekly view, and you can actually even block out times out of your week that you do not want to take courses. Scheduler will understand that and will always preview classes that are around those times. So in the future, it will. Right now, it won't. So as for now, it's still best to use it with your PeopleSoft to see the dates and times. But in the future, it will. Yeah, it will be a game changer for sure.
I like that you're integrating it into this tool as well, so you don't have to go to separate things. So that is nice.
So Pedro, just to reiterate, a student can say that they want to take certain classes, certain terms, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those classes will be offered in the terms that they placed them.
Correct. Correct.
So every so often they'll have to go in and edit.
Yes. Yes, which is why, Laura, there is no save button, as you can see, because it's a very fluid tool, right? If I'm planning to take Sociology 2201, but it's not being offered, then let's go ahead and move that to a later term, right? So it's always constantly moving.
Yeah, I mean, the term fluid means, I mean, you know what the term fluid means, but in this context, you really should be looking at this every term and updating it because things change. Like, you know, there is no, this is set in stone. Even the roadmap is just a guide. It's a tool. It's a resource. It makes it easier to make decisions, but it's not the rule. So yeah, it's looking at this every term.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, these are great questions. Yeah, just to finish off a little bit of like the overview, if you ever wanted to add a semester to your planner, there's this button at the top of your planner next to my academic plan here where it says add a new term. It will literally display every semester for the next, I think, like 7 years. So if you wanted to add like a summer term, you can go ahead and add that to your planner, and then you can move courses into it if you wanted to. One other feature that has become very popular, especially with our transfer students and students who are like juniors and seniors, is that you can mark requirements as complete on here. The reason why that's a very important feature is because sometimes Planner doesn't recognize that you've completed a course, and it won't recognize it if it's not that specific class, right? So sometimes we go through a process called course petitioning, right? Where you satisfy one degree requirement with the other, or sometimes you brought over transfer credit that does not articulate to a specific class, right? Like it does not come over as, for example, psychology 4450. It comes over as transferable psychology. Planner, unfortunately, is not sophisticated enough to understand that, so it won't mark the requirement as complete. In order to mark any requirement on here as complete, just for visual purposes, right, for you and your advisor to know, is you first have to find the course on the right-hand side and remove it from your planner. So let's go ahead and remove this social work 4411. So once it's removed, you'll find it on the left-hand side. And again, it'll be easier to identify because it'll have no label. There we go. Once it's on the left-hand side here, you can click on this menu icon, and from your end, it'll have a mark as met requirement here. That's where you can click on mark as met. You can indicate why you're marking it so that your advisor knows, and then it will just say like marked as met or complete. Now that unfortunately will not do anything to your degree progress report. This is just mostly for your planner, for your own like planning purposes. But it is a good way for you to like mark those requirements as met. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, again, planner is pretty straightforward. Like Erin mentioned, we do use this data a lot. So the more courses and semesters you're planning to take, the better it is for us as a university, because we work with our campus partners to ensure that there's enough class availability. It doesn't do us much good if students only plan like one semester at a time. We want you to plan out as much as possible. Okay.
I have a couple of questions. Well, one isn't a question, but you can't see it on here, which is a really cool feature, is the planner, like on the top, I think right there where it says degree audit in that section. I don't know if it's only for the student. It has like registration portal. That one's really cool because when you're getting ready to register and you're seeing your classes, you can click on it and it'll take you directly to the registration page on your student center. Yeah, so where he's showing his little cursor moving around, that's typically where you all see it. So that's a great one. Although I always tell you, what happens is it doesn't, I don't know if it opens up in a new page, but you kind of want to look at both of them at the same time. So you can see like, oh, what did I plan? Because it doesn't add the classes to it, but it does take you there. So that's a really convenient feature. I was curious if you know how long it would take to actually like build this up, right? So if you're obviously like freshman, it sounds like anyone that's new, it already like builds in the roadmap. But if you're really trying to tailor it, do you have a sense of how much time one should commit to getting this set up? And obviously it's maintenance throughout every year.
Yeah, I think it varies obviously by student. If you're majoring in one discipline, if you're double majoring, adding minors, I think that if you're close to graduation, that you're pretty much just planning the last few semesters. If you're a first-time freshman student, you can definitely use our recommended roadmaps, as you can, right? It took what, 30 seconds at most to come up with that roadmap. If you're starting from scratch, that could take a couple of hours, right? Because you're probably looking at your curriculum sheet, your degree progress report, and you're planning out like what courses to take. But we always recommend that you work with your advice, or that students work with their advisors as well. You know, they are a great resource. That's what they're there for. They're the experts in course selection. They've seen patterns over the years. We definitely want you to take advantage of that. And that's why we always have our students, you know, schedule appointments in advance. It's good to have a planner already in place when they meet with their advisor, so they can just sort of review and approve, right? But again, if you need help with planner, we have plenty of workshops coming up. But yeah, so I guess it just really depends. Mhm.
I kind of think of it like going to the dentist. Like if you brush your teeth, your dentist appointments are easier. And with this, it's like if you do your planner, your advising appointments are so much easier, right? Because you're going to go in, you're going to already have this plan. They can say like, yep, that looks great. Or, you know, we need to flip these two things around or whatever. And you'll just check in on that once a year, like you do going, or twice a year, like you do going to the dentist.
Yeah, hopefully nobody like dislikes going to their dentist.
I don't.
But yeah, I mean, like Casey shared that she set hers up, and it took her a while. She did it for her first year. Sarah shared that when I first transferred and planned 2 years, there was a different planner at that time. It took me at least an hour. So yeah, it varies, but it is worth it. I always tell my students, like during your break, like when you're not in school, like block out some time to just do this, because at least it helps to just manage where you're at, what you want to do. Your advisor can see it as well. And for some students that actually have, they're like veterans, for instance, students that are either veterans, or like if you're a child of a vet and you're on the GI Bill, they require like a course list. So you already have it done. You just save this as a PDF. So there's so many reasons why this is such an important tool to do as well. Sarah says that the nutrition department faculty advisors require that the planner be completed and ready, or they won't meet with the student for the advising appointment. Yeah, so any other questions? Like I learned some new things as well. Thank you, Pedro.
Pedro, is it possible to mess anything up, or is there like a reset button?
You know what? I get asked this question all the time. No, so there is no undo, because everything you do to planner, you can like, it's literally just adding semesters, adding courses, right? You can always undo that yourself. So no, you cannot mess up your planner at all.
All right, so using the reactions, how many of you are going to go out and update your planner? Thumbs up if it's a yes, crying if it's like I'm overwhelmed and need help. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Good.
Awesome.
That's great. That's all thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm surprised you all didn't have more questions, because you know that just shows that you were really listening and not opening up your own planner just to see, because then you get distracted and you're not even paying attention. But there are plenty of people, you know, that can help you with this. Like in the ARCHES program, we can help you in the RAMP program, in the EOP program, and then obviously the Bronco Advising Center, and you know they also offer support. There's all these workshops, so there's no reason that you can't get support and assistance in helping you to support this, especially if it feels like an overwhelming task to do. So please reach out. That's what we're here for. Lara posted the survey in there. Your feedback is helpful for us as well. If you'd like a copy of this recording, just let us know, and we're happy to provide that for you. So thank you so much for spending an hour on Zoom. We look forward to in the future, like next year having workshops in person. We do have a lot of other great workshops coming up, so just keep an eye out for that. And that is it. And thank you to our presenters. So using the reactions, or you can put it in the little chat, either do like, what is that thing? Ta-da, thumbs up, clap. Thank you so much to Pedro and Aaron for taking the time to do this. We know you're really busy and we really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you all so much for having us.
All right, friends. It was nice to see you. We'll see you at the other workshops.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye.